want to grow up. I want this to be a nightmare. I don't want this to be my life.
I just wish I could grow up faster. I hope all of this is just a nightmare. I don't want this to be my life. That is a diagnosis no family should ever have to bear. A 48-year-old man, husband and father of 3 children, declared to have terminal brain cancer. His wife, in indescribable despair, turned to TikTok as the only place where she could release the pain tearing her apart. She choked up and shared, "It's really too hard to live a life where I can't control anything." But no one could have predicted her next step. In utter hopelessness, the woman killed her husband and 2 of their 3 children, leaving only one little boy alive, along with a dark, cryptic TikTok that felt like a farewell note. "I've struggled too much. I'm severely depressed, and I've withdrawn. I don't want to interact with this world anymore." Hello, I'm Mr. High. Thank you for clicking on today's video. If you want to support the 90-year-old man to have more motivation to keep telling these strange and haunting true stories, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. This is one of the heaviest stories. Talking about murder is already unbearable, but when the victims are children, the horror becomes inescapable. In this case, 2 little ones were robbed of their lives inside their own home, while their 3-year-old brother survived in a miraculous way. I have so many questions about what led to this tragedy, and surely you do too. So let's start with the basics. The case happened in Madbury, New Hampshire, a town about 65 miles north of Boston. It was the home of Emily Long, 34, and her small family. Her husband, Ryan Long, 48, their oldest son, Parker, 8, their daughter, Ryan, 6, and their youngest son, 3. The youngest boy's name is kept private for protection. In family photos, they look like the perfect happy New England family. Bright smiles, warm autumn pictures. But everything collapsed, shattered in April 2025, when Ryan, the father, the family's pillar, received devastating news. He had a vicious disease that would steal his life. Ryan was diagnosed with glioblastoma, an aggressive brain cancer, essentially a death sentence. Soon after, his wife Emily began posting TikTok videos documenting her husband's fight, from treatment sessions to moments that seemed completely out of control. In one video, Emily's voice broke. "Every time he goes through radiation, I see his brain swelling, his body exhausted, and I just stand there, helpless, as if life has slipped out of my hands." Emily said that radiation felt like a lifeline. It slowed the tumor, gave them something to cling to, a fragile hope. But when they moved into the monitoring phase, when recurrence could strike at any moment, the fear rushed back. She admitted, "I can't imagine a day without that shield. It's the only safety net I have left." Emily grew so desperate that she framed only 2 possible scenarios. Either Ryan relapses but is still treatable, or he doesn't relapse at all. To her, those were the only acceptable outcomes.
Like this one.
It's just like, okay, now we have totally lost control. At least when he was going through radiation, I know that it's been hard on him. I know that it's been exhausting. His brain is swollen. He feels so many symptoms. That has been hard for me as a partner to watch. But
On TikTok, Emily didn't just talk about Ryan's illness, but also wrote a heartbreaking love song. In one video, the text appeared, "Watch me brag about my husband for 7 minutes." There, she described Ryan as a man meticulous in every detail, always thoughtful, always holding on to his morals. Emily wrote, "He is the kindest person on this planet. Every decision he makes is based on morals. He taught me how to lean on someone else, how to be weak and ask for help when needed. He taught me how to be a true partner." But through sobs, Emily cried out, "He gave me so much, but never had the chance to receive anything back. I want to show him how incredible he is, but time doesn't give me that chance anymore. And that is what hurts me the most." That was not just love. It was a bond carved deep into her soul. But then, from the depths of that love, something horrifying happened. Emily said that what she cherished most about Ryan, and what shattered her heart when thinking about the day he would no longer be there, wasn't the grand moments. It was the simplest things. Nights lying next to each other in bed, watching a movie together, or just standing in the kitchen while she told him about her crazy long day. Working in the restaurant industry, every second of Emily's day was chaos, stress, and sometimes pure madness. She laughed and said, "My life is like a joke. The people I meet at the store, the strange situations that happen. I swear, many times I think I'm being secretly filmed in some comedy show. And what she loved most was telling it all to Ryan. He would sit and listen, smile, then tease her, calling her the curious, busy one who attracted all those bizarre situations. Emily said, he joked that I was the one who created that chaotic energy, so the universe just sent me the craziest things. And I loved the way he teased me. It made me cry and laugh every night. She remembered the times Ryan burst into laughter, looked up at her and asked, "What is wrong with you? Why does the whole universe keep picking you for all these bizarre things?" For Emily, those moments were the best part of her day, and the thought that one day she would no longer be able to share those little things crushed her heart. The focus of Emily's videos, of course, was family. Not only Ryan, but also their 3 children appeared. She even shared the difficult moments, like the day they had to tell the kids the truth. Emily said, they all sat on the bed, holding the children, and said, "The doctor told us that Dad has cancer. It's a troublesome disease in the brain, but you can't catch it, and Dad didn't do anything wrong to make it appear. You also didn't do anything wrong. This isn't anyone's fault." That was the explanation Emily always emphasized, so the children would understand that nothing was their fault. But deep inside, Emily knew the shadow of this disease wasn't only looming over Ryan, it was slowly consuming the entire family. One of the most important things Emily and Ryan tried to stress to the children was, right now, Dad is still healthy. Dad is safe. Dad hasn't been made sick by this cancer. At first, they thought of saying Dad doesn't have cancer anymore because the doctors had removed up to 99% of the tumor, but then they realized that would be planting a lie in the children because in reality, the disease was still there. The treatment journey was not yet over. Emily knew that if they lied to the children, one day when the truth came out, they would feel betrayed. And then, what both parents had anticipated finally came. Their 8-year-old son hesitantly asked the question every parent dreads. "Dad, is he going to die?" Emily recalled they had decided to be honest but gentle. They said, "One day, Dad will die from this disease. But not today, not in the near future. Dad is still very healthy right now. And Mom and Dad will do everything to make sure the disease doesn't come back. That's our responsibility, to keep Dad healthy for as long as possible. But one day, it will return. And when it does, it will take Dad away from you." Those were the hardest words a mother and father could ever say to their children. Their 6-year-old daughter burst into tears, saying she only wanted Dad to be healthy and never die. Meanwhile, the 8-year-old boy, who seemed to understand the truth a little more, quietly accepted it, though his eyes were brimming with tears. Yet these very videos caused an explosion on social media.
But my husband is like processing. I see it as puttering, but he is processing everything. He is listening. He is thinking about every side, every angle. He's always devil's advocate, as much as it literally kills me. He's so thoughtful in his decisions. He's the most ethical human on this entire planet. Like every single decision that he makes is based on his code of ethics. And it's like so respectful. I cannot even handle it. He's taught me how to be a good partner. Like he's taught me how to be vulnerable and, okay with like relying on someone else. Like I was never okay with it. I'm still not good at it. How to like ask for help and all these things that he's through our relationship taught me. And like, now I'm just like, ugh, what a waste. Like you don't even get to like live in like the fruits of your labor. Like you've given me so much and like, I don't get to like show that to you and share that with you. And I think that's one of the things I'm going to miss is being able to like show him how wonderful he's been to me and like he can enjoy that. And I think that bums me out big time. But the thing that I love about him the most, and when I think of times where we won't be together anymore, like the thing that breaks my heart the most, is like at the end of the night, being together, like either laying in bed or like watching a show or just like hanging out in the kitchen and me recapping my day. I work in the restaurant industry, so like every single second of my day is absolute chaos and is totally insane, and I see the most unhinged things. And then like in my private life, like everything that happens to me is bizarre. Like, I'll explain someday, but like the people I run into at the grocery store are bizarre. Like, just everything that happens to me is like a joke. I swear to God, I'm on a prank show. And I love like telling him and like recapping all of the insane things that happen to me every single day, and him just like absolutely roasting me and like teasing me about it, and just like always telling me that I bring it upon myself because I'm such a busybody, nosy person that, of course, the universe has like bombarded me with these bizarre situations because I have like put that energy out into the universe. And I just love like the teasing that he does. It just cracks me up, like crying, laughing every single night where he's like, what is wrong with you? How can all these things happen to you? And like, that is my favorite time of day, is like sitting down and like going through all that stuff. And it's just like such a bummer that I think that one day that might not be the case.
She was forced to face a cruel truth. Her husband's illness would only get worse. She could not ignore it, could not pretend it would disappear. If she kept letting herself sink deeper, she would vanish into nothingness, while there were still 3 children who needed her hands. Emily spoke bluntly. I'm in a really terrible stage right now. That's no secret. Before, I never dared to admit it, but now I can't deny it anymore.
Really hashed out like what we were going to say, what words we wanted to use, how much we were comfortable telling them, and like what the consensus was going to be of what we were going to share, and making sure that we weren't lying, but we were giving them age appropriate information. And we just kind of sat on the bed and we said, the doctors let us know that it is cancer. And it's kind of a nasty kind of cancer in Daddy's brain. You can't catch it. There's nothing that Daddy did to make this happen, and there was nothing that you did to make this happen. Those were one of the things we really harped on, is that it wasn't contagious and there was nothing that anyone did. The other big piece that we really focused on is that right now, Daddy is healthy, he's safe, and he is not sick from the cancer. Originally, we were going to say right now he doesn't have cancer because they technically got 99% of it, but that doesn't make sense because he does have cancer and we're going to be doing lots of treatments. So that felt like we were setting ourselves up for them to feel like we were lying to them. So those were our main focuses. So then we did get the question that we knew we were going to get from our 8-year-old, which was, is he going to die? And again, our MO was that we were going to be honest, but we were going to be strategic. So we said one day Daddy will die from this cancer, but that is not today. That is not in the near future. Daddy's really healthy right now, and then we're going to do things to keep the cancer from coming back. And that's Mommy and Daddy's job, to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep Daddy healthy and to keep the cancer from coming back. But that it will come back, and one day it will kill Daddy. And obviously that's like awful to say to your kids. And our middle, she kind of got it, but she also was just kind of like, I don't want you to die and I want you to be healthy. Our 8-year-old kind of knew already, but...
And then, this was the last TikTok Emily ever posted. In the video, she said,
to have every single one of you guys and this community, I just am so thankful. I feel no shortage of love and support, and I know that random people on here, if I messaged any single one of you and said I need someone to talk to, I know that you guys would be there for. This is a nightmare, and then I wake up one day and they like say, JK, like, just kidding, this is psych, like, you're not married to anyone, like, you can start your life over. Or your husband doesn't have brain cancer anymore, like, this is it. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Okay, I put makeup on and real clothes for the first time. Basically, makeup since we went to the Cape in July, and real clothes in God only knows how long. So I'm trying to get myself out of this rut. I know that I've said this before, but our kids are definitely struggling. And now I'm starting to notice some changes in our 3-year-old, which is tough because he's too young for therapy. I know that people are going to say play therapy. We've done that before, and I just don't really see the benefit in it. And he's too young for talk therapy, obviously. But like, for example, last night he just couldn't sleep. He was up all night long. He was crying. And he's never like that. And I've been starting to notice him stirring more at night and just have a harder time. And it's just devastating. But I am determined to create normalcy. We're going to go down the street to our neighbors who are our close friends with a bunch of our other friends. I don't think that my husband will come. Maybe he will, because it's right down the street. It's just a couple houses down. But it's important for my kids to be with their friends. And I have been struggling so much and really depressed and just have really become reclusive and just wanted to be with my kids and my husband. And while that might feel good for me, I don't think that that's good for me. So, that being said, I am making a change. It is starting today. I am going to start getting dressed. I am going to probably not put makeup on because I don't really wear makeup very often unless I'm going somewhere, but I need to become more social again. I used to be like the most social human on this planet, and the past month I have basically declined 98% of all offers, and my kids need to be with their friends. So, hold me to it. Today, I am adjusting my perspective, and I'm making a point to get out of my depression and do this for my family. So, that being said, happy Saturday. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I'm going to.
Emily told herself she had to shift her perspective, had to try to escape the spiral of depression for the sake of her family. The video ended with a farewell that seemed full of hope. Have a happy Saturday, everyone. I'm going to have a great day. But then, it all led to the morning of August 18th, 2025. When someone requested police to check on the Long family, first responders entered and discovered a deathly, horrifying scene. Ryan Long, the husband, the father, had been shot multiple times. The two children, Parker and little Ryan, each were shot once. The 3-year-old boy, incredibly, was unharmed. According to the New Hampshire Department of Justice, based on the evidence at the scene, in the early morning of August 18th, Emily Long took a handgun from the house, shot and killed her husband and 2 children, then turned the gun on herself, ending her life. Investigators emphasized, although they were aware of many conflicts and pressures within the family, it should not be hastily concluded that this tragedy stemmed from a single cause. The official autopsy findings were later released. Deputy Medical Examiner Abigail Alexander concluded both children, Parker and Ryan, died from a single gunshot wound to the head, and both were victims of homicide. For the adults, Chief Medical Examiner Jenny V. Duval confirmed Ryan Long died from multiple gunshot wounds, ruled a homicide. Emily Long died from a single gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. This is one of those rare cases where we know exactly what happened, yet no one understands why. What could have driven a woman from being a devoted mother to the one who caused such devastation to her family? And what future awaits the 3-year-old boy, the only survivor? I have come across, read, and studied countless cases of murder, massacres, or suicides, but this is the first time I've seen a woman as the perpetrator. Oh my God, this truly is a horrific case. Indeed, women committing crimes of this nature is uncommon. Typically, men account for the majority of serious crimes that law enforcement handles. It's not unheard of, but clearly an exception. And here, we are talking about the destruction of an entire family. This was not just a family argument. It was a woman taking the lives of her husband and 2 of her children. That truly stands out. And I'm sure it shocks you too, because this was the annihilation of an entire family. Nothing less. So tragic. It's hard to believe things went this far. Surely many people remember the Amityville Massacre, where an entire family was slaughtered in their own home. But in that case, the perpetrator was male. Here, when the killer was the mother, the horror multiplied tenfold. The biggest question is why? What triggered it? Why did it go this far? I know mental health is a foundational factor, but is that what investigators want to dig into the most? In today's society, we see too many people silently suffering with mental health issues. Yet Emily thought the only way out was to destroy everyone she loved. That is exactly what makes this impossible for all of us, especially their family and friends, to accept. If only she had reached out for some help, some hand to hold, then this horrific tragedy could have been entirely avoided. That leads to the question, why? Why was the 3-year-old spared while his siblings, only slightly older, had no chance? This is a gap that cannot be filled in this case, and it is the question that continues to trouble everyone. The biggest question still hangs in the air. Why was the 3-year-old spared? We may never know the answer. The only certainty is that he will carry that painful memory for life, with a long road of therapy ahead. Because at 3, though so young, he is still old enough to sense fragments of the terrible truth. His parents are gone, his siblings have vanished, and the once warm home is now only silence. If the boy truly witnessed the violence unfold before his eyes, then that is something no child should ever have to see. That is the most important reminder for all of us, the audience watching this story. You are not alone. Help is always there. There is always somewhere to turn. And this tragedy, in the end, is a painful proof that some of the most devastating losses could, at times, have been prevented. In the end, what remains after the tragedy is not only the grief of a broken family, but also the tormenting questions left unanswered. Why? Why could a loving mother turn into the one who ended the lives of her own children? And why was the 3-year-old the only one spared? We may never know the full truth. But one thing is certain. The memories left behind will forever be scars that cannot be erased from the minds of everyone. If there is one lesson to take away from this tragedy, it is this. When you or your loved ones are falling into darkness, seek help. There will always be a hand ready to pull you back. Don't wait until it's too late. Thank you for watching today's story. I'm Mr. High. Please hit subscribe so you won't miss the next cases. And remember, the darkest stories often come from places you would never expect. See you in the next episode.